Here's a segment from a recent Gun Talk radio episode. You can listen to all the Gun Talk radio podcasts however you tune in, or check out guntalk.com for more. I get emails. This one just came in. Adam, why would you do this? Because I'm going to start with the PS first, right? He says, P.S. I would have emailed Michelle first, but I didn't have her email. Thanks a lot. Boy, I tell you. Adam wants to know. He says, I'm just finished building my first AR pistol in 5.56. I'm looking at putting on a red dot or a reflex sight on it. I'm mainly using it for putting holes in paper and home defense. Any thoughts on red dot versus reflex sights? Love the show. Never miss a podcast. Thanks for all you do for us in the Second Amendment. Adam, my first thought, before I went back and reread it and saw that it was for an AR pistol, if it's for a rifle, I was going to suggest a possibility of a low power variable scope, a 1 to 5, 1 to 6, something along those lines, which I particularly love on rifles. On a pistol, a little less so. And I think you're probably right on red dot versus reflex. And I don't really have a preference. If you have any experience with one over the other, I would say just pick what you like. Also within your budget, because, I mean, I tend to, with optics, I tend to try to avoid the cheapest. It's been my experience, and I'm a photographer. That's how I got into all of this. And I've owned well over 100 cameras and probably 200 or 300 professional level lenses, glass. You don't get good optics for dirt cheap money. You just don't. And every time I've tried to cheat that system, I've always been sorry, whether it was camera lenses or scopes or anything else. So I would say avoid the very, very cheapest. But optics have gotten really good over the last, 10, 15 years. And we have a lot of good things that are not horribly expensive. Now, you can pay anywhere from $100 to $800 and more for red dot or reflex sights. Somewhere in there is something that fits your budget. One of the things I would say to look for an AR pistol, because you're shooting targets, but you mentioned home defense. For a home defense gun, you want quick sight acquisition. You want to be able to use it quickly. And I would say there are some red dots that are pretty small. Be careful. Don't get the ones that are made for pistols. Those are necessarily small. I would go with a larger diameter optic, if that makes sense. A little bit bigger window. Remember, you want to be using this with both eyes open. And you need to practice that, by the way. You need to practice both eyes open shooting. And you can actually do a lot of that practice with an empty gun, completely dry, empty gun, no ammo around, at the house, doing basically mounts, pulling the gun up, keeping both eyes open, go on target, find the red dot, find the sight, over and over and over again. You're training yourself to keep both eyes open. Why? Okay. Why do you want both eyes open? In a defensive situation, you want to have as wide a view as possible to see what's going on. There might be multiple bad guys, and if you close one eye, you close off vision on one side. You don't have that peripheral vision there. There could be bad guys in front, but you could have a family member moving in on the scene, or an innocent coming in on the scene from one side. You want both eyes open to have maximum situational awareness so that you can get this input as much as possible, okay? So practice shooting with both eyes open and go into the range. And one of the things I would advise doing is going from like a low ready position, bring it up, keep both eyes open, and try to get that first shot or maybe even a double tap on target pretty quickly. Just bring it up, pop. As soon, don't try to fine tune it. That's where people screw up. As soon as the dot's on the target, press the trigger. Don't try to fine tune it. Just bring it up. As soon as it comes up, pop. It may be pop, pop. But just work on that so that I can't tell you how many deer have owed their lives to hunters who didn't know how to make a quick shot, because all they'd ever done was shoot off of a bench, and all they'd ever tried to do is wait till the crosshairs were completely immobile, completely still. That's not realistic, but as they're waiting and waiting and waiting, trying to get everything settled down, and the deer took off, self-defense situation is somewhat similar to that. You don't have time. You just need to get it on and press the trigger and get going on it. Because the only reason you're using a firearm in a self-defense situation is because someone is in danger, you or a family member, and that danger must be immediate. It's not somewhere down the road. Otherwise, you would exercise one of the other options. So you need to be able to move fast, shoot sure, and keep both eyes open to see what's going on, who's moving in from the side. As I say, it could be another innocent, could be a family member, could be a bad guy. You want to know. So I would probably say go with a large diameter optic on this firearm. And, from that point on, it becomes personal preference. If any of your friends have some, take a look at those. You may say, oh, I really like that one. Or ask them and benefit from their mistakes. If they say, yeah, I thought this was the bee's knees, and it turned out not to be so, then you go, okay, I can take that one off the list. If you have any suggestions, we'd appreciate that. And Adam, I appreciate it. And yes, I understand. You would rather ask Michelle. I get that. So would everyone else. 866-TALK-GUN. Be right back.